Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet, powered by Fandom Wire. If you aren't going to fandomwire.com for your scoops, you're missing out. Or you can go to Facebook, Fandom Wire News, get it even faster there. That's where we got all sorts of exclusives like this, so please go support Fandom Wire on Facebook and fandomwire.com. Guys, I was so happy to get this exclusive in because this is something that people have just been hoping, maybe assuming could happen. I am so happy to announce that our sources have confirmed that this is absolutely in development at Disney+. They are working on Ahsoka Tano live-action Disney+ Star Wars series, and we have some information for you about it. So you can read the whole article over on Fandom Wire. I'm going to use this as my notes to sort of talk about what we know. I want to thank Apex Forum, who made these two images here that I put together. Really cool stuff. Great artists. Go check them out on Instagram. But this is really exciting because so obviously a lot of you didn't. I don't know if the algorithm or what, but you didn't click on my Boba Fett one, so go do it. I'll put it up in the corner over this side. No, it's not. Yeah, that's over there. It'll be on that corner. Boba Fett is also getting a solo film. I talked all about that in my previous film, so go check that out up here. There it is, the eye link. But Boba Fett has its own film or limited series in the works, as I sort of mentioned in that video. Disney is looking to not just do limited series, they also want to do some one-off features, which I think is actually a smart move. And so fan favorite character they want to do one next for is this, but it's not a movie. This one's going to be a full-fledged series. And let's get into what we know so far about this Ahsoka Tano live-action series. Now, we already know that Rosario Dawson is going to play Ahsoka. That's a given. She even sort of confirmed this when she was talking to, where was the quote? Obviously we all know this already, but there was a quote where she sort of had to come forward. Yeah, it's not confirmed yet, but when it happens, I will be very happy. I'm very excited for that to be confirmed at some point, and it would be 1,000,001% because of the fans, which she told Variety. So clearly that's in the works already. She's already shot her part, but from what I'm told, she's not a major part of the season. She has appearances in the show, but it's all to test and get her ready for her own show that'll take place post Rebels. That's right. And she's not the only character that we can reveal here. Aside from Bo-Katan, who's coming, which Slash Film was first to break that story, with Katee Sackhoff playing that character. I've made a Photoshop image of what you can expect there. Slash Film did confirm that Sackhoff is reprising her voiceover role that she does in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and playing a live-action version of Bo-Katan in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. That is absolutely true, but we can also confirm that they are not the only two characters appearing. We are also going to get Sabine and Hera, both of which are obviously big characters in Rebels. Hera also in Clone Wars. All of them are appearing throughout Season 2 of Mandalorian, all as a way to sort of introduce us to these characters, to have them then launch their own series. Now, I don't watch Clone Wars or Rebels. I've started Clone Wars, so I know I'm not the best expert for you on all that, but so I'm going to sort of share a little bit about each character. For those that know, you already know this, but for those that don't, there's a lot of people who don't watch these shows, and that's part of the problem of this news story, to pick up and do a live-action version of Rebels. It's cool because, you can go back and watch the cartoons, but it's going to be a lot of back history that people aren't going to even know or understand. Is that actually going to be good for the general Star Wars public? And I know a lot of you Rebels fans are like, yeah, but it's hard to make time for that show. There's a lot of episodes in both Clone Wars and Rebels, and I'm even trying. A fan gave me a cut-down version of what episodes you absolutely should watch, so to try and get through it, because the show's not even, Clone Wars wasn't even in chronological order. It's a task for a fan, even a Star Wars fan, to sort of have to make time for it. So that's the only problem I see in all this news of doing this post-Rebels live-action series. It sounds cool. I like Dave Filoni, who would lead this, but it's a lot of homework you have to ask the fans to do before they watch it. So fans of the Clone Wars and Rebels, I'm sure they're going to be excited for this. They'll be weary, making sure it's done well, but I'm sure this is who they're really playing to. But will the Mandalorian fans who are coming in just watching that and don't really understand all this backstory of the dark saber and everything, will they care as much? That's going to be the big question mark. But for those that obviously don't watch Clone Wars yet, let's go through who some of these people are. So we have Bo-Katan. She's a Mandalorian warrior who wields the dark saber and ruled Mandalore at the end of Rebels. Seeing her back obviously makes sense since we saw the Darksaber in the hand of Moff Gideon at the end of season 1. Spoiler alert. So she's in there. She was in the Clone Wars and Rebels, and she's going to come back. But that would make sense to make a cameo in Mandalorian since she was a big role, and since we saw Moff Gideon show up with the Darksaber and talked about Mandalore, etc., it makes sense that she would be a player that comes back. So to get Katee Sackhoff, who voices her, who was great in Battlestar Galactica, she's a really great actress, getting her to come back to reprise that role, that's exciting. Now, Sabine, she's another character from Rebels, and she's another Mandalorian warrior born into House Wren, serves as a weapons expert for the Ghost. Now, I had to get a sort of a download of what Rebels is. They're all on this ship called the Ghost. That's the ship they use. And she's friends of potential love interest Ezra. Now, again, Rebels, spoiler alerts, because Ezra is this... Force sensitive, they sort of say. Jedi. I'm confused. No, he is the Force sensitive lead, but then it's the other one. The one that Freddie Prinze. Yeah, Kanan is the Jedi Knight. Okay, sorry. I'm because again, I warned you. I'm not a Rebels. I don't watch it. But she's the love interest of Ezra, who again, spoiler alert for Rebels. You can mute it. Is missing at the end of the series. That's sort of the end of Rebels. Is Sabine and Ahsoka going to try and find him. And so that plot line will be a major part of this series. They are going to absolutely follow through and figure out where that goes. And then we have Hera, who is a Twi'lek, and it was the captain of the Ghost. And also, again, spoiler alerts for people who haven't watched Rebels, sorry, was the mother of Jedi Knight Kanan Jarrus' son, who would be older. And for people who've watched Rebels, he would be older in this series due to the timeline. And I'm told... most likely will appear in this show as well, but that one I didn't fully confirm, but we both assumed based off the knowledge we've gotten that would make sense for that person to make a cameo. And then obviously this will take place after Rebels. The show, while all these characters are going to appear in Mandalorian, the show that we're talking about, this new Ahsoka show post Rebels, which is they're calling the Ahsoka. I asked, like, is this in the Mouse House? Are they calling this a Rebels show, or are they calling it an Ahsoka show? And it's an Ahsoka show. So that's sort of, they're making her be the lead of this, and clearly Rosario Dawson's a big score, because I think the fans are excited about that. Unless they'd gotten, the original voice, Ashley Eckstein, to do it, which is the only other person that fans were sort of wanting to see, was the voice of Ahsoka. Now, Rosario Dawson is a really good call, and she's a great actress. She's done a lot of live action work. No disrespect to Ashley Eckstein. I understand why fans are annoyed, but sometimes you just gotta add the bigger name to get the people to come click to your paid service. But we'll see how the other characters line up. If Katee is the only one who sort of gets the voice over live action debut. I mean, you got to remember, she's not only a great voice actor, but she was in Battlestar Galactica. She is a famous sci-fi actor, Katee Sackhoff, so I can understand why her credits might have been enough to let her portray the live action one as well. But what do you guys think? Does that annoy you that they didn't just give Ashley the role? That's a good thing to talk about down in the comments. But the show itself, this Ahsoka show, will feature Chopper and Zeb as well. Chopper's the sort of droid they have, and Zeb's the little creature, furry creature they have. All of this will continue to search for Ezra as a major plot point of that series. But we're also told, again, if you know the show, which I'm not going to spoil, but there is maybe a way that Grand Admiral Thrawn also makes an appearance in that show. I don't know what happens. I'm not going to say what happens to that character, or if it's flashbacks or whatever. But I'm told it's very possible that show will lead to see him as well, which he's another fan favorite character. So again, this will be overseen by Clone Wars and Rebels creator Dave Filoni, and give him the opportunity to really expand this animated universe he's already created and attempt to do live action. And it makes sense, right? Because they've been giving him more to do over a Mandalorian. If you notice Disney series that they do behind the scenes of Mandalorian Gallery, it's such a dumb title, Disney Gallery, where they all talk to each other, but they gave Dave Filoni 10-15 minutes at the end of that last episode, which is worth a watch, mind you, but where he just sort of does this big monologue about why the prequels were actually good, and he's right, and it's I got all that. I understand, still have problems with the prequels, but from a story standpoint, yeah, I get the main story was there. I just don't know if the script and the direction sold it as strongly as the story was, because Lucas was so worried about what's going to be. Watch the behind the scenes of Phantom Menace. It's just yep, that'll be fake. He's so worried about the focus and the technology more than anything else. But to be fair, he did have a story there that was strong, and they let Dave Filoni sort of explain this at the end of the Gallery episode 2. Which, again, I see all these things, and they're clearly trying to make Dave Filoni be lifted up to be the new authority, which he's been. He's not like it's a new one, but for fans who don't watch those cartoons to know, okay, this guy should be respected. He took notes from George. Like, George helped him get to the place that he's at. So it makes sense now that they would have Dave test on the Mandalorian and direct episodes and get used to live action before they give him the keys to go make a live action Rebels. You know what I'm saying? So all of this is all clearly a plan for once that Disney has a plan suddenly to make sure this works. So that's clearly all what's happening. So, and then, like I said, Katee Sackhoff was already reported there. Oh, the other thing was that we don't know who Sabine or Hera are yet. They have shot their parts. The only other character we know, or the actress that we know has been cast in a role, undisclosed role, is WWE wrestler Sasha Banks. Now, she has purple hair, and so does Sabine. So some are just assuming, well, that must be her. Yes, fair guess, but we haven't confirmed that. I can't confirm that one yet. I know she has shot for it, and they like to bring in, fighters, wrestlers. Gina Carino, obviously, in there. So maybe they're giving her a shot. Maybe she killed it in the audition, but she could be in there as Sabine as a possibility. But we don't. Again, I can't confirm what role she's actually playing, but we're told she is in Mandalorian season 2, and if she's playing Sabine, then obviously she'll be part of that series as well, because Sabine and Ahsoka are clearly like the duo. So that's the scoop. I want to make sure you guys knew that. I'm excited for this. We have more coming, but this one's the most exciting. But there's some more interesting stuff that I want to walk you through of other series that are still in talks and in development rather. That a couple of which I'm like, really? So we'll get to all of that this week. So make sure to subscribe. And like I said, go to fandomwire.com to follow and read the whole article. I'll put it down below. I'd love your click over there to give that the website support as well. Or go to Facebook. Fandom Wire News is what you can look up on Facebook, and like us there to get more scoops and stories as we work with them. Very grateful to Fandom Wire. So go give them support and our scoopsters to help give us this information. What do you guys think? Is this something you're excited about? Is this something you're hesitant about? Are you looking forward to this? Is this something you've been waiting for? Or are you like me where you're like, well, I don't watch those shows now, so I guess I got to watch those shows now? That sounds like a chore. I hear it's good, but man, life can be busy. It's hard to fit in 5 seasons of a show to just sort of fast track through. That's homework sometimes, and what do you think? Or is it homework that's worthy and you want to do it? Or you're just going to go in blind and watch the show without knowing the backstory that Filoni and crew sort of did through the cartoons? Tell me all your thoughts on this issue down below. Please share this. Go like it. It's Thursday, so we'll be live tonight for Nerd Wars. We'll talk about this and other topics where you guys can come and get involved and get engaged with some special guests. So make sure to subscribe, get your notifications on, all that stuff. Thank you guys so much for your support over here. We'll be back with more content very soon. See ya.